Incoming, incoming, incoming. Prepare yourself for Rumors of War 1987. And hello again, all those in Dreamland. This is Rumors of War 1987. It's been a year since my last video. Culmination of trying to make a honest living a necessity, and going through some things emotionally kind of caused me to take a little hiatus. I started professionally writing full time. I consider myself wiser and better. So let's get back into this meat of the matter. This new video is on Russia. It's encroaching militarization of the Arctic base and the cooperation it's seeing in doing so by the rest of the Arctic Circle world. And the importance of this is not what they're telling you. It's not to secure resources and land, geographic area, renewable materials, the expand mining operations. It's not. That can be done economically. That can be done without a military presence. What they're doing is fencing off the North Pole, which I think traditionally is an entry point to the Hollow Earth, and is also an exit point from the Hollow Earth to the surface world, which we are in. And thus it is the breach in which any kind of invading forces, any kind of hostile creatures or entities can come through and will come through, and that'll be their first entry point into this world. As you can tell, the Arctic Circle is blanketed by military organizations and their bases of operation, resources, resupply lines, reinforcements, things like that. And as you can tell with these maps, Russia itself is expanding in the area with a number of Air Force bases, the Navy bases, and even land force bases. But this is the most interesting thing about it, is that they're built as a tiered system of suppression and denial of territory, and not one of projection of force. As you can see in this map, most of the Air Force bases are done out over the magnetic North Pole into the Arctic Ocean, but most of the Navy bases and the Army bases are held towards the urbanized, or that would be the East Coast, or the eastern half of, western half of Russia, and Western Europe, or Eastern Europe. Sorry, it's Eastern Europe, Western Russia, in which Moscow, St. Petersburg, I think about 65% of their population in total is centered on that border, as well as able to overextend and to provide support for the Norwegians, which also are the most closest European power, which stations and provides military defense for the Arctic Ocean. So as you can see in that map, or that picture, the bases are built for troops, specialized troops, and generally troops involving air power and defense. You cannot have a land military force out here permanently stationed. It is not basically an iron curtain. It is and will always be an operational way of clearing out, exploring, and providing transportation, mobility, mobile reinforcements, and mobile arms, usually dedicated to be the nuclear submarines, which already operate in the area, their boomers, their ICBMs, their nuclear torpedoes, and the nuclear armed bombers, long range bombers like the White Swan, that can extend over this area. And this is also why they're doing it, is because the things coming out of the Hollow Earth are UFOs. They're highly mobile, highly agile. They cannot be allowed to go to major urban centers because the confidentiality, the classification of these things is being over top secret. Canada has already experienced this with numerous UFO crashes, and their military having to rapidly respond into their most northern areas. Russia has a Cold War history of this, downing UFOs over Siberia, and they can the tundra over there. And a large part of me says that this is actually more fact than fiction, is that there are creatures which are appearing from the ice, marine nature, just like how Godzilla is, amphibian. Don't laugh. This is more true than not. And as the temperatures rise, the bonds which keep them imprisoned are going to weaken, and they're going to be able to push further and further south. They're trying to give us soft closure with the Monarch programs and the movies, the new Godzilla movies coming out, centering themselves on the Arctic, centering themselves on Hollow Earth, centering themselves on a battle between the creatures themselves, between these ancient wars, between man and dragon, man and giant otherworldly beast, man and alien invader, because they know this is going to be reality.